pregnancy. Found it really tough.
A lot of people talk about postnatal, but not a lot about
prenatal. And I didn't even know I had prenatal depression until I googled it one night, and just saw like all the stuff. And it had indicators. It had, if your life is changing dramatically when you are pregnant, you are likely to have prenatal depression. So I was leaving my life in London to move to the other side of the world to basically foster myself out to my husband's family, because we were moving in with his family.
Right.
And I thought, this is at 28, I'm now voluntarily fostering myself out.
Yeah.
And you know, so there was a lot going on, and I had painful pregnancies,
right.
or painful pregnancy with the first one, unexplained pain. You know, I remember at one point my doctor just said to my husband, "Your wife's just going to have a really painful pregnancy." Like, that's kind of it.
Yeah, right. So painful in terms of
just odd pains.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there was a lot of it because you're a yoga. Because I've been to India and trained as a yoga teacher by now as well. And there's always this thing of like, is your core too firm and too tight? Or when the baby's growing, it causes all this pain, or is it? And one thing that I really struggle with, but I'm really good. I know I have a lot of tools in my tool bag to have my life work. So when I was pregnant, yoga was always, and I remember getting on my yoga mat because I was feeling so sick and down, and I felt worse. Yeah, right. And that was kind of like the rug being pulled out from under me, because I was like, if I can't do yoga, I don't really know what to do. Right. So what I did do is eat a lot of instant noodles. Right. Yeah. What was it actually? Good question. Me goreng. I don't know why you are so serious. Me goreng.
Okay.
Me goreng. Flavour, and then I'd have broccoli in it. Every morning, that was my breakfast. My pregnancy, in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Instant noodles.
And then when you had the babies, did that go, or what was that?
And then when I had the baby, yes, I also ate meat in my pregnancies, and I just felt like I've never been pregnant before, especially the first time. I'm just going to go for it, and I'm like, my God, did I go for it? I just ate everything. And my poor husband, who thought he'd made a chef that made food, was like, get me takeaway now. People are like, darling, I'll make something. No, there's not going to be enough, and it's not going to be quick enough. Go for the takeaway. And because of where we were in London, we had every country represented. You know, we had Polish, we had Nigerian, we had Jamaican, we had every single Asian, we had Indian, like it was just. And then, I gave birth. And actually with my son, I was in labour. I had a home birth with both my children.
Did you?
And I was eating chili beef just before the pushing phase. My midwife said, Kemi, you might want to just slow down on the chili beef.
So you were in full labour?
I was in full labour. There are so many, do you know what, I actually joined the maternity coalition in Canberra after I'd had my children, because I realised what I'd been sold about birth was so not true. Yeah. And the experiences that women can have in birth can be extraordinary, and I'm very grateful that we have hospitals, and I have my hospital bag ready just in case. Yeah. But I fell asleep in the middle of my labour, then got up, said, is there any chili beef left, had a bit of a munch, you know, walked around, listened to Britney Spears, because that's just what I felt like. And then got into the pool and, you know. So
would you like eat the chili beef and then during a contraction have to stop? Was it intense for you?
Oh yeah, it was intense. But my most intense point was the pushing phase. Yeah. You know, in the pool and just having your body taken over with that sensation. Yeah. And my mother-in-law, who is one of the most extraordinary women I've ever met, had a terry nappy, like a cotton nappy, around her fist on the water thing, which I was biting into. Oh, wow. You know. And she was just like, and I said that when I got into the pool, I said, I thought maybe the pain would go away when I got in the water. She said, the pain's going to go when you have this baby. Yeah. You know, so I was like, right, let's just do this. Yeah. Let's just do this.
Before I had my son back, so I was speaking to our friend of yours too, Claire Bowditch, who actually brought me to the world of Kemi. That beautiful
the world of Kemi.
Yes. But you hear so many horror stories about birth and labour and this and that, and I was getting quite on in my pregnancy, so I was a bit worried, and Claire was like, it's the best thing you'll ever do, I loved it, it was just this beautiful marathon, at the end you get this baby, and I remember getting home and saying to Sam, so excited, let's bring this on.
Yeah, that's right, and I have an amazing mother-in-law who she did prenatal home birth classes. It was really big in Canberra. There was kind of an exodus to Canberra for home birth in the 70s, and she was part of that movement. And so there was never a fear about it. Do you know what I mean? It was just a natural thing, and I'm just not that good in hospitals. You know, not that some people, not that I'm not saying that people, you know, that people shine in hospitals, but I was worried about my cervix doing what it needed to do in an environment that I didn't feel comfortable in. Yeah. So then when that was an option, I was like, well, I'm just going to do that. Like, that's just my option. Yeah. And you know, it was amazing, and I realised I had only heard about fear around birth, and she just gave me all her old 1970s and 1960s books, things like Spiritual Midwifery, which my husband and I read, these amazing birth stories of women and men, you know, 70s hippies kind of going, it was just really psychedelic, man. Right. And we were laughing and laughing, and then in our labour with our son, I looked at him at one point and I went, this is actually really quite psychedelic. Did you? you know. It was extraordinary. It was extraordinary. So it was just nice to have these amazing birth stories and this whole learning about this whole spiritual journey from maiden to motherhood.
Right.
You know, that if you get the opportunity to give birth naturally, that you actually go on a journey and that the baby's on a journey with you.
Yeah.
So the times when I was struggling, well, you know, when it is hard, it's not like it doesn't hurt.
No,
I remembered that Benji was on the journey with me.
Yeah.
So I would talk to him. I say, it's okay. You know, it's all right. We're going to meet soon, and it wasn't this thing that was hurting me or that it was something.
Yeah.
And my husband was awesome, and I had a birth partner, a female friend for each of my births, and it was a real celebratory. The first when I had my son, there was actually a German exchange student in the house who made the birthday cake.
What?
And he was 17 years old, and my brother-in-law who lived in the house was 17 years old, and they made the birthday cake. And it didn't go well the first time, and I can't remember his name now, but that's okay because I was in labour.
Right.
Anyway, and he made this black forest scatter and it didn't go well. And we heard that they came in, I was in the contraction going, the cake, the cake, the cake! And I was like, it doesn't matter, I'm having a baby, you know?
Wow.
But they went off because they wanted to make the perfect cake, the first birthday cake that my son was going to have, you know? So there was all this kind of crazy madness going on, and my brother-in-law running around getting hot towels for my back, and, you know, and then when my son was born, there were 11 people around the, you know.
That is so...
Good job, Twitter. And I knew my body had been there before I knew what I was doing. Same midwife, and she said, Kemi, you know what you're doing, so just let me know if there's anything you need.
Yeah.
And I just got on with it.
They're also different too. That's why I think you can't go, you know, you can hear other people's stories, but they're also different.
That's
like
right.
Mine was very different to yours. I was in hospital. I did a hypnobirth, so which I loved. I found it really challenging.
Yeah, it is.
But it was the best thing I ever did. And I was
Yeah.
speaking to my mum, and I'm like, Mum, Mum doesn't even, like, she didn't think it hurt that much. I'm like, you nuts? She's like, it was so quick that it wasn't that painful. I'm like, something's wrong with you. That's like really full on.
Yeah.
Because the pain is like nothing else, but at the same time,
it's nothing else.
the most amazing.
But you don't get it, but you only get, like, you're never ever going to get anything else from that pain except for a back. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the payoff is worth it. And it's interesting because I've had women say to me, oh, I'd love to do a home birth, but I can't. Oh, I wish I could. And I was like, if you do not feel that you can do that and you feel secure in hospital, don't you dare try and do a home birth.
No.
Because it's not going to work. Like, it's not that one birth is better than the other or that it should or shouldn't be. And I just said, what advice do you give me? I said, well, I hate giving women advice around birth because it is different. I said, just surround yourself with women that are honest. I said, it's not even about the birth, it's post-birth.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with mothers that can say to you, it's really tough, I'm really struggling, and if I had a stairway with a door right now, that's where my child would be. You know, like, you know, just surround yourself with mums that are honest about how hard it is to be a mother and everything that comes with it.